What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PickSix podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL podcast. I'm Brinson. I'm your host. I don't know what day this is. Doesn't matter because this is a lovely, evergreen, potentially YouTube-filled podcast with the wonderfully coiffed Pete Blackburn, who is and apparently extremely flatulent Pete Blackburn, who is in the middle of doing the Tom Brady diet ahead of the Super Bowl between the Bucs and the Chiefs. Pete, so obviously we had to have you on to discuss the diet. If people don't already subscribe to Pete's daily NFL daily newsletter, not just NFL, go to cbssports.com/newsletters and sign up. It's a great time. You do a great job with it.
Hey, thank you very much.
Glad
that farting was the reason that you had to bring me on your podcast finally.
Yeah. Well, I saw that tweet. You were like, I'm farting. I can't stop farting. And I was like, well, this is perfect. We have to get him on. I actually thought about doing what you're doing, I think like 4 years ago, and I have a Tom Brady cookbook. And then I got into the weeds of trying to plan it out, and it just wasn't going to happen. But I think it was, as I was with most things, I'll blame my wife and child on it. I think if I were single, I could have maybe pulled it off, but there's a lot of like prep work that goes into this, right?
Yeah, and I did none of it. Like if I had a cookbook and I was like looking through, I probably would have said I just can't do this. I'm not going to do it. It's too daunting. There's too many things that you can't eat. And so basically what I did was I took a brief look at the outline. I went shopping. I just got a bunch of stuff that I thought would be healthy and that I thought would fall into like under the umbrella of what's allowed. And then I got home and I looked into it a little bit deeper, and I realized like half the stuff that I bought is even still not allowed. The things that I thought were healthy are not allowed. So it's been difficult, and I'm glad that I'm only doing it for a week because I'm already so bored with like the things that I'm eating.
Really?
So
right,
yeah.
Well, let's so like what? All right, I don't know if Pete. If people don't know, Pete is. So you're single, you live in Boston, you play a lot of video games, and these are nothing more than like
living life, man.
Jealous intimations. Yeah, a pandemic hit. There's no better time, I think. Like if you want to be single in a pandemic, sure you want companionship, but having to deal with another human being, or much less multiple. Disaster.
Well, I live with my girlfriend.
Okay. Right, there you go. So you have another human being you have to deal with.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. She doesn't pop up on Twitch streams a lot. My son pops up all the time. I guess that's the difference.
Yeah, she when I close my door, she leaves me alone, which is why we're still together. So
right, that's probably a fair point. Okay, so you have companionship, but you're still living like the non-married adult child life.
I'm very much not an adult.
Right, correct. Me either. But at any rate, what's been like the toughest thing to give up on the before we do that with the Brady diet, what sort of give like a TLDR version of like how, if you were trying to explain it to somebody who knows nothing about it, you're like, I'm doing the Tom Brady diet. Here's what are the things that sort of the principal tenets of it?
So I would say it's basically like it's 20% meat, like 80% vegetables, nuts, like very sporadic fruits. A lot of the fruits aren't allowed because of sugar and stuff. No sugar, no processed foods, no nightshades, which I had to look up, and it's like
tomatoes
tomatoes. I think like potatoes are in there too. No legumes, no salt. Yeah. No,
I should be telling you how to pronounce anything. Legumes are beans for people that don't know.
Beans. Okay. Do green beans fall in there? Because I ate green beans last night.
I don't know. Maybe is legumes a specific type of like a black bean would qualify as a legume.
Right. I don't do a whole lot of beans anyway. So
yeah, I don't think I would think green beans count.
I hope so, because I had them last night and I was proud of myself for not breaking the rules for the first time yesterday. And that would be devastating if it turned out. So it's like a lot of that, like a ton of nuts, just basically nothing that anybody would enjoy.
Yeah. And this is not like the thing about it is it's basically like a kind of a retro, I don't know, it's not a hipster diet, but like we've seen a bunch of like people, like modern athletes and people who are into like modern diets have basically said, cut out sugar, cut out wheat, cut out dairy. And then they operate like that. And that's not a crazy diet, but then Brady took a couple of twists on it. Obviously, like, cranked it up into his image, and he's 40 feet, he's in the Super Bowl, it helps. The nightshades thing is crazy. Do you know, is it just tomatoes that are nightshades, or is it?
No, there's a few other things in there. But the tomatoes thing is easy enough for me to avoid. It's like the other stuff where it's like just iodized salt,
peppers,
olive oil not allowed. Like, so I've been doing coconut oil, which there's not. I mean, like, I love olive oil, but coconut oil has been fine.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of just monitoring things that you never would look into otherwise. Like some of the spices and stuff you have to look in, and there's iodized salt in there, and you can't use it. So a lot of Himalayan pink salt to get me through. And so it's been interesting.
Were you able to expense the grocery items?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a game changer.
Yeah, that was basically the only reason I agreed to it. So, yeah. Well, free groceries for a week. Okay, I'll put myself through this.
Was this your idea or somebody else's idea?
No, it was the old boss's idea.
Okay.
I'm glad that it's doing well for the site. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. It's been a nice little like easy diary at the end of the day.
What's the hardest thing or things you've had to give up? Because I had my second pot of coffee fired up downstairs as I was coming up to do this. I was like, I bet Pete's not slamming coffee.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The TB12 diet is different from Tom Brady's diet. Like Tom Brady says that he's never had coffee. He like doesn't do a whole lot of other stuff. Like the TB12 diet says you can have coffee. It says you can have coffee just like 2 cups max. Don't have your second cup of coffee after noon because it affects your sleep or whatever. So I'm still doing black coffee, totally fine, which is, I wouldn't be able to do this if I couldn't have my coffee. But the hardest thing to give up, honestly, has been just like the act of snacking, like when I'm watching games at night. That's been the most difficult thing because I am so used to being able to keep my hands busy and just like nervously, anxiously eat while I watch games or drink, and giving that up because you can't eat 3 hours before you go to bed. That's part of the rule. And so that's been really difficult. So last night I had to resort to ice cubes.
And you can't, it doesn't say no alcohol, right? I think they want it. You have to
very like limited alcohol. Yeah.
Like
I'm just going to see if I can do the week without booze.
That's healthy. We were going to do dry January, but it's like this kid, they kept schools closed. It's like, nah, F that. Like, I'm not,
right.
Yeah. I'm not,
we're in a pandemic. They're closing schools. Just don't take this away from me.
Yeah. It's like they're sending out a survey, like, how's school going? It's like, are you kidding me? Like, give me another bottle of wine. So what's been a average, like meal plan for the day? Like what, like breakfast? Because I think you said something, you bought like a bunch of yogurt and granola, and you're like, this would be great. And no, yogurt has
dairy, as it turns out.
Right. Yeah.
Cheese,
also dairy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like finding out that I couldn't eat even granola because of how much sugar is in it was devastating. I was like, this will be my snack. And nope. I gotta eat like plain almonds. It's so what's awful.
So like is Brett, because I saw, and then you had like did you get into beef with Stephen Chia about this? Because he's doing the TB12 diet.
Yeah, Stephen Che apparently like started doing it.
Che.
Yeah, he started doing it at the beginning of the playoffs, and I didn't realize that. But as soon as people started snitch tagging him, as soon as I said that I was doing it, I was like,
snitch tagging, that's a good word.
Yeah, snitch tagging is a huge thing with Barstool. But yeah, as soon as people started tagging him, I was like, oh, okay, this does make sense. He's been like all about Tom Brady this entire year. But yeah, I mean it's been fine to this point. Like I'm not dying over here, but it is making me have a little self-control, which is not a strong suit of mine. And I already can't wait to destroy my body once this is over.
Yeah, I did my wife and I did a juice cleanse one time, and it was like 3 days. We did it for 3 days, which is way longer than we probably should have done it. But it's like they're looking for 7 days, which is ridiculous. And at the end of the middle of the second day, we're like hugging, like we're like crying and laughing, like shivering, sweating. It was weird. And then we got done with it. You're supposed to ease back into whatever it is. And we're like, no. Like we had some friends come in town. We're like, that's it. We're done with this stupid thing. And when it got like pizza and beer out of, and 30 seconds into the meal, you're like, it's you gotta be a little careful because your body will react and actually will be destroyed. But like for breakfast, are you doing like eggs with because can you do quinoa? You have to be able to do quinoa, right?
I believe so, because there's a lot of nuts and stuff and what spinach and whatever. A nice little life hack for me is that I wake up at like noon usually. So I just skip breakfast.
Oh, that is
just
nice.
cruise right past breakfast. And
because you're covering hockey, so you're up.
Right, and I'm doing the newsletter every single night. So
because you can't write the newsletter. Oh, right, because the Breach does his newsletter. It comes out at like 2. Yours comes out at
like 8 a.m.
8, so you have to. So you're up till 2 a.m. every night writing it. Because if LeBron breaks his leg at 2 in the morning, you have to be. It requires a certain type of lifestyle to be able to write a daily 8 a.m. sports newsletter.
Yep,
and live on the East Coast.
Yeah, so it's it's been. I don't do breakfast. I get up pretty late. And the like early afternoon lunch, I've also a nice little life hack. I've just been skipping it for the most part because I don't want to eat this food. So I've basically been doing like 1.5 meals per day. I have like maybe a banana or like an avocado for lunch. I had both of those for lunch yesterday.
Just waking up, eating an avocado.
Yeah, basically. I would love to throw it on some toast, but I can't do that because I can't eat bread.
So I would recommend if you can do spinach and quinoa, if you're eating breakfast, you got to get some all organic eggs, I'm sure. But spinach, quinoa, like a spinach quinoa scramble is really good. Okay. I'm like into quinoa. So I mean, like I could actually, my wife would never go for this, because you can't just eat hamburgers and like red meat.
I wrote about it yesterday in my update yesterday. Like I cannot wait to have a hamburger and beer. Like that's all I want.
Right.
It's all I want.
What's been the best meal you've had so far?
Like honestly, they're all the same. It's just like a little bit of chicken and a ton of vegetables. Like so many vegetables.
Oh, so you're not really like you took the diet restrictions.
Yeah.
Bought food.
Yeah, I'm not like
sort of
Tom Brady's cookbook.
Yeah, because like you can do like the TB12 through like Blue Carrot or something, where it's like a Blue Apron or a HelloFresh for TB12, and they'll send so you can make, it's like buffalo falafel tacos or something like that, which is not something you just can't make that.
Right,
you can make it from scratch, but the problem is like Tom Brady is worth more than our lives.
He has a personal chef who's
right.
like Tom Brady's not thinking about this stuff. The chef is telling him what he can and cannot eat, and the chef is handling all that stuff, and he just has it waiting for him when he goes home.
Well, so Gronk did the TB12 diet in New England for like 6 months, and people were like, really? You, Gronk? We didn't see you. Like, how did that go? He's like, I just show up and they gave me the food. Right. They're like, here's what you're eating today, Gronk. He's like, cool, and ate it. And he just dealt like, I mean, that would make the TB12 diet very easy. I would do that in a heartbeat because it would be delicious. Like this guy's going to make this incredible coconut oil seared.
A guy whose job it is to prepare this meal and shop for it and handle all the headaches for you and just put it in front of you. I will literally eat anything if you put it right down in front of me and say I made this for you.
All right, so you're just eating like chicken and grilled vegetables.
Yeah, essentially.
That's really boring.
It's so boring.
Yeah, and it's at some point you're like you can only put something. Okay, that this would make it less fun for sure. What about water? Because TB12 is big into hydration, right?
Yeah, I've been doing a ton of water. So you're supposed to half your body weight, which
I saw that. Yeah, you weigh $140?
Yeah, so I lost a ton of weight during the pandemic because I'm just not working out. I lost probably 15, 20 pounds, and
you lost 15, 20 pounds from not working out.
Yeah. So like
it was the opposite for me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like it's the opposite for a lot of people. I'm just like a naturally skinny person who just can't gain weight. So I dropped a ton of weight. Been doing like 70 ounces of water, which for a lot of normal people, they're like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's I drink more than that a day. And I'll tell you, I don't drink water. Like it's maybe the most unhealthy thing about me, but like
I drink coffee in the morning.
Yep.
And if I'm get thirsty, I'll drink water. And then if I'll drink water with lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm thirsty between 12 and 5 p.m., I'll drink water. And then anything after that is more than likely going to be alcohol.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I said that yesterday. I drink 3 things. It's usually coffee in the morning, water, and then booze. And water is usually in last place. And then maybe I'll throw a ginger ale in there if I feel like
I definitely say to myself once a month that, well, coffee is like filtered water.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it's like alcohol has to have water in it too. It's not like,
the beans in there too. It's healthy. So like the water thing has been difficult. It was like extremely hard the first day because I was just pounding water all day long and I felt so bloated and my stomach just hurt. And I was peeing every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm used to it now. Like I've just been drinking water throughout the day and just getting used to these bathroom trips. But that was the most difficult thing the first day.
I mean, hydration is something that as he drinks water, hydration is something that we, as a general, general average humans are probably just way behind on. I mean, I don't drink any sodas or anything, but I mean, I think
ginger ale.
Yeah, but I think people drink a lot of sodas, and it's just, if coffee is not hydrating, then neither are those things,
Right.
So yeah, that's something I need to work on for sure. All right, what about Brady himself? He's in the Super Bowl with the Bucks.
Yeah,
as a Pats fan, that's gonna be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm fine with it. Like I'm rooting for him to win. If like the Patriots weren't going to be, I said this from the very beginning. If the Patriots weren't going to be there, I wanted Brady in there, and it became very clear early on that the Patriots weren't going to be there. Yeah. I was rooting for it would have been a more difficult decision for me if the Bills had made it. I've been loving the Bills this year.
You think Bills versus? Are you going to drift away from the Patriots until they're?
No. I just think the Bills are like a really fun team, and,
awesome. Yeah.
I love Josh Allen. I think he's a very fun player to watch. I said last year, I was like, Josh Allen is a more fun Jameis Winston, like a better Jameis Winston. And I think for a while he was, but now like he's legitimately good.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He
is that not hard? Year, like you're like, I mean, I guess when you do this for long enough, you can you're like, whatever. I'll just root. Like I grew up a Panthers fan, but I'll root for the Falcons if I pick them, or if I find myself really loving the Saints. Like it doesn't bother me one bit to root. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's sort of it too. Plus
there are some teams like it's different in football. Like I don't think other than like maybe the Jets. Like I don't think I could ever see myself rooting for the Jets just because I know that the people that root for the Jets, and I'm not rooting for those people. So like Buffalo fans, salt of the earth, like blue collar, very fun people who like to jump through tables. I want them to be happy. They haven't had any happiness in the past like 20, 30, 40, 50 ever years. So a fun team with a fan base that kind of deserves it. And I think that it also helps that like the Patriots have absolutely dominated the AFC East for like the past 20 years. Sure. So like for it
wasn't going to happen for 100 years,
right?
You know what I mean? Like Belichick wasn't going to live forever and like pass it down to his son, who then dominates for another 40 years. It just wouldn't happen.
I'd have no problem like letting Buffalo have their time in the spotlight if the Patriots aren't going to be good.
Okay.
Like obviously I'm rooting for the Patriots to get back and be more relevant in the AFC East, which I hope that they will be in the next couple of years. But I was rooting for Buffalo, and I think that if Buffalo had made the Super Bowl and was going up against Tom Brady, I'd have a real conundrum.
Sophie's choice.
I'd be rooting for Buffalo as a team, but I'd be rooting for Brady as an individual.
Interesting. So you're all in on Brady, obviously. To win.
Yeah. I like Mahomes, but the Chiefs just don't do it for me.
Yeah. I can see them becoming the Warriors pretty quickly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Which it isn't really fair to the Chiefs because
but I mean, I covered Steph Curry in college, and I watched him play in like at Davidson and in like little tiny ass gyms around North Carolina, and I still found myself like getting over, like I'm over the Warriors, and I feel like the Chiefs, Mahomes is just like Curry. Like an otherworldly player who does things that he shouldn't be doing, like just fun as hell to watch. But like you could see yourself being like, all right, enough is enough.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's very hypocritical for me to say as a Patriots fan, but like, I want something interesting. I want new teams. I want different. Like, I just think that the Chiefs are too good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not interesting when you have a team that is just heads and shoulders above everybody else.
Yep. Pulling for having the Patriots in the Super Bowl like 5 times in the last 10 years was, it was what it was.
I would imagine that it's not very fun
pretty
for
tiring.
other people.
Yeah.
And like I said it when Tom Brady was in New England, I was like, people hate us. And we have an absolute storm coming once Brady leaves, because like, if you believe in sports karma and just like things balancing out, yin and yang, then like the Patriots just are going to be horrible for a long time.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Go check it out on the site. It's the TB12 Diet Diary. How to eat like Tom Brady for a week. You look like you're got some good color to your skin, Pete. Good attitude. Don't let the grilled chicken get you down, buddy.
I'm trying.
Thanks, pal.